comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So, SpaceX has done the round trip, euphoria into despair. And it will turn back into euphoria and then back down to even deeper despair. Did anyone invest in SpaceX? If you don't know, it went from like 65 to 200 and something, and now it's down to 63. So if you bought it the second it opened last week, amongst the hype and the euphoria and the fucking optimism, and held it for exactly 1 week, or not even 1 week. I think it's like fucking, I don't even know. When did it come out? Who cares? Either way, you would now be down 2.5%. What has happened with this SpaceX is it's really a financial crime. That sell-off the last 2 days, that's just billionaires cashing in. When they said the other day, fucking SpaceX raised $75 billion in one of the biggest IPOs of all time, everyone is going crazy about it. This is going to make everyone rich. When they said they raised $75 billion, that is $75 billion from the public. So that has gone from the public to the early shareholders of SpaceX, and the public thought they were buying an amazing company. They didn't realize that they are just the exit liquidity for the early investors. So $75 billion, just a complete, just straight over transfer, because they've made nothing. They're down 2.5%. But what people don't understand is the early investors of SpaceX can keep selling into this price forever, because really the actual value of SpaceX is probably something around $8 per share if every share was on the market. So to the early investors, it doesn't matter if SpaceX is 140 or 120 or 100. That's still like fucking 100x profit for them. And the public will continue buying into that because they'll think they're getting a bargain. But really what is happening is a financial crime against humanity. I predict over the next couple of days there's going to be a bounce back up. There'll be euphoria again, just so the early investors can cash out at a higher price again. The untrained, unsuspecting investors that buy SpaceX, your mum and your pops, they're just going to keep taking a bath. That's all there is to it. It will pop back up again. Mark my word. It will pop back up. People will be like, a week ago, I thought I missed out. Now it's 163. I didn't think I'd be able to buy it at this cheap. And so people will fucking rush back in, buy it at 63. It'll go to 75. People will start panicking. Fuck, it's going back up again. 180, 190. Fuck. We're missing out on SpaceX. And then the dump will come. The early investors will sell all their shares. It will fucking dive back down to 150 or something. And they'll play that out maybe 2 or 3 more times before fatigue sets in. But by then, a couple of $100 million of the public's money will have transferred from retirement funds and savings and investment accounts to the billionaires. So go for it. Buy some SpaceX. And in a few weeks or a few months or whenever it is, buy some Anthropic and some OpenAI. They're good investments too. Anyway, fucking, we're here again. It's Monday. You know what that means. It's time for this week's Ask Boyle. It is Ask Boyle time. Pulled that one out of the fire. I forgot which day it was. I forgot which tune I was meant to do. Anyway, if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation or any generation, comedian, philosopher, hedge fund manager, Boyle, then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. You know what to do. Fucking bypass the Ask Boyles and go straight to Fucked Up Fridays. Actually, I need Ask Boyles as well, so fucking send them in. Unless you don't have any fucking problems, unless you're completely fucking fine, which I know isn't true. So send me in an Ask Boyle and send me in a Fucked Up Friday. It's always red alert for Fucked Up Fridays. So let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by Bison Digger. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. That one went over my head, but it doesn't say where they're from either. So here it is. You were talking about how the banks and the system are stopping people from buying Bitcoin on the chain. I own Bitcoin. If I continue to buy it and have it in a wallet, and the banks and governments continue to block people from getting it, then in the future, how will my Bitcoin be useful? Well, Biso, you have come to the right place. I actually thought that was a question, a different question. Someone asked me about lending against your Bitcoin, so I'll cover both of them. First thing is first, there is never, ever, ever going to be a problem with exchanging your Bitcoin for fiat currency. That is not what they're trying to stop. They're not trying to stop you selling them your Bitcoin, the scarce, desirable asset that cannot be printed. They're not trying to stop you from selling your Bitcoin for the money they create out of thin air. That's not what they're trying to stop. So you don't need to worry about that. They will always be willing to give you their fake money for your Bitcoin. So don't worry. You'll always be able to exchange Biddy for USDT, stable coins, CBDCs. You'll be fine. It's going the other direction that will become harder, trying to exit the system. In Weimar, Germany, there was no problem, absolutely no problem finding people to give you the money they were printing for your gold. And it's the same with Bitcoin. You'll find people that will take your Bitcoin off you for their fake money. So I don't know what else to tell you about that. They can't stop on-chain Bitcoin, so you'll be able to transfer it to somewhere to get, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to sell your Bitcoin for fake money. Don't worry. People just don't understand this concept, do they? It is complicated, I get it, but at some point you need to understand that the money you're transacting in has no value as long as it can be printed out of thin air. And it is constantly being printed out of thin air. Its only use is transactional at this point. If you have dollars, you should be using them to buy assets of any description. It will never ever be an issue selling your scarce, desirable assets for money that holds no value over time. I don't know how much more I need to go into that. That's not the problem you're going to face. The problem is going to be you have cash. You need to find something to put that cash into because it is being debased and inflated away and printed so fast that it is not holding value for fucking 6 months. And they've shut the rails to Bitcoin, so you can't buy Bitcoin and you need to figure out how to buy Bitcoin. That's going to be your problem. Not, I have valuable Bitcoin. How can I sell this for money that is becoming more and more worthless by the week? I guess people just don't understand inflation. You've got to learn about inflation. You've got to understand fundamentally what inflation is and how it works over time, how your buying power is constantly being eroded. So, yeah, don't worry about it. That is not the thing you need to stress about. But the thing you need to stress about is not how am I going to get rid of this Bitcoin? I have all this Bitcoin and no dollars. Yeah, that's not the world we're heading into. The world we're heading into is I've got all these fucking worthless dollars. How the fuck can I get some Bitcoin or some gold? But trust me, it's Bitcoin, not gold. Anyway, fucking, I hope that helps. Don't worry, you've got Bitcoin. Just relax. It's on cold storage. They can't do anything. You're fine. Next question was, how do I borrow against my Bitcoin? It's very simple, but it's also very fucking dodgy. There's already companies that will lend you. It's at a high interest rate, though. I think like you're looking at between 8 and 12%. If you're borrowing against your Bitcoin, and they only give you, I think if you have like 80,000 Bitcoin, you can borrow 120 or something. I've never looked into it because I stopped caring about that as well, because I'm not spending my Bitcoin to get into dollar debt and then they repossess the fucking Bitcoin. So I think what happens is, well, this is the only way I would fucking even consider doing it. But you have a cold storage wallet and you put your Bitcoin in it and you get one of the keys to the cold storage wallet and the lender gets one of the keys to the cold storage wallet, and it's held until the loan is paid back. But I think there's places that hold your Bitcoin. You've got to give them all your Bitcoin. They give you the money. And if you don't pay it back, they just keep your Bitcoin. But the other thing they might do is rehypothecate it. So put it on an exchange and sell it to someone, which will earn them more money. And then when you've paid your loan back, they just buy it back at whatever price. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of financial engineering there as well with the fucking rehypothecation. Rehypothecation just means they're selling the Bitcoin more than once. So it's just like the bank. So you give them your Bitcoin to hold. They give you money. They say they're holding it in a safe, but what they actually do is sell it on the exchange, because you're not going to need it until you pay your loan back. So they might as well fucking sell it. They know you're not coming for it soon. And then when you're done, they'll just give it back to you out of their stash or whatever. But the other thing that could happen is the lender just goes bankrupt and your Bitcoin disappears and they don't have it. So I wouldn't get tangled up in any of that fucking bullshit. Just hold Bitcoin on cold storage for the 9 billionth time, and that's all you need to do. There's nothing fancy to be done. You don't need to buy SpaceX. There's no Anthropic that's going to save you. Buy a little bit of Bitcoin every week or once a month or fucking whenever you've got some spare cash. Put it on a cold storage wallet and just wait. That's all that needs to be done. There's nothing else to do. Anyway, fucking that'll do it for tonight. Thanks for your questions, and I'll see you the fuck later.